Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. And today we are going to discuss this one thing that doesn't always get discussed when you talk about losing weight and losing fat. Now, it's not excess calories. It's not chocolate, gluten, or even carbs. It's chronic inflammation. Now, what causes chronic inflammation? These, a lot of things, but these are my top three: consumption of heated, rancid vegetable oils, a stressful lifestyle, and sleep deprivation. So if you can focus on at least limiting your exposure of all three of these, it can go a long way. Now, step one would be eliminating rancid vegetable oils. Now, how do we do this? Well, a lot of times restaurants are cooking in these, right? So if we can ask for them to not cook in things like canola oil, safflower, peanut, soybean, and sunflower oils, that can go a long way, because all of these contain omega-6 rich inflammatory polyunsaturated fats, PUFAs, which you've probably heard a lot of if you're listening to a lot of health podcasts. So again, like I said, these are commonly used in restaurants, and they're in comfort foods like French fries, pizza, chicken wings, I know, packaged sushi, and even trail mix. So do your best to try to at least limit exposure to these oils, because over-consuming omega-6s and under-consuming omega-3s can increase your chances of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, obviously obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, so on and so forth. So obviously, as you can see, omega-6 fats are not ideal for our health. You are going to have some in your diet, but essentially you want to increase omega-3s. Now, how can we do that? Well, first of all, we can cook in things like ghee and butter, grass-fed butter, as opposed to these oils, even tallow. Now, I would also recommend like a cold-pressed organic coconut oil and an extra virgin cold-pressed organic olive oil. You can use that. I would say use olive oil maybe to drizzle on food, and I would say cook with ghee and butter and tallow. They have they can cook at higher temperatures, and it's much better to use those than opposed to using olive oil for cooking. Now, also fatty fishes, sardines, mackerel, herring, and wild salmon are great ways to get omega-3s. Now, also grass-fed meats, grass-finished meats, which is something I've gotten into a lot over the last 6 to 8 months. And I love adding avocado as well to a meal. So these are ways to sort of take down the level of omega-6s that you're getting from these rancid vegetable oils and increase omega-3s. Now, step number two. Now, chronic stress is something that obviously we all can deal with from time to time, but stress it can be a good thing, but let's find ways to eliminate it. Not all the way, but chronic stress, if we could eliminate chronic stress, something that comes on all the time, because every time you're stressed, your adrenal glands release adrenaline and cortisol. And as a result, glucose, your primary source of energy, is released into your bloodstream. All of this is done to give you this energy to escape from a risky situation, even if you're not in a risky situation. So it's our fight or flight response. So things that I do to relieve stress: read. I just got into painting. I also like to do meditation and yoga. So maybe pick one thing and just stick with it for a while. And you don't have to do it for that long, 10, 20 minutes a day, and it can go a long way into help reducing stress. Because what's happening is there's this vicious cycle where you get stressed, you release cortisol, you gain weight, and then you start craving, right? Craving sugar. And then when you start eating sugar, obviously that can help put on weight. So it's that vicious cycle that we just want to avoid. Now, step number 3 is something that I talked about in episode number 21. So check it out. And making sleep a priority. I'll probably repeat this a lot throughout my podcast because I think it's that important. Research shows that getting between 4 and 5 hours of sleep per night can help cause insulin resistance and high glycemic variability, meaning high spikes in your blood sugar from different foods and things like that. So this can obviously lead to diabetes and many cravings and weight gain. Okay, so I think you all understand, if you listen to my podcast, how making a sleep a priority can go a long way. I mentioned in episode 21 things that you can do. Obviously, turning off blue light at least an hour before bedtime, your phones and computers and things like that. I would not recommend eating too close to bedtime, and also sleeping in a cool environment are probably my top 3 tips to get better sleep. So if you want more, check out episode 21. So really, there you have it. Those 3 things, write those down: to eliminate chronic inflammation, avoid vegetable oils, control chronic stress, and make sleep a priority. If you just focus on those 3 things, like for the whole year, it's going to make an impact on your health, and it's going to help you reach your weight loss goals. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for listening. Feel free to share this with anyone you think that would help, that is looking to optimize their health and reduce inflammation. And if you love the podcast, the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast, I'd love for you to subscribe and rate and give a review on iTunes, Spotify, and all the devices. So until next time, enjoy your Tuesday, and talk to you later. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.